Okay, welcome back to another video. I just wanted to show you a quick rattle can paint job on a new door mirror housing. I'm replacing a door mirror on a relative's Fiesta, Mark 7 Fiesta. And the replacement mirror that we ordered comes with a grey primed housing, which obviously you can paint to the right colour. Now, I wouldn't normally put a rattle can anywhere near a car. You just can't get the kind of finish that you get with a proper paint job. But I think I found for small areas like this, which are quite forgiving of sort of poor finish, you can actually get quite a decent result using a rattle can if you follow this particular method. What I've done here, I've taken the base grey primer housing. I've just put a tack cloth over it just to get any imperfections off, and then I've just put 3 coats of the colour on straight onto the base. Very thin coats, giving it about half an hour each to dry. That's the 3rd coat now, so I'm just going to add the 4th, and what you're going to see, I don't know how well you can see the colour there, but it's quite light and it's quite matte, and you'll see when I put the next coat on, and see how that's going glossy, which is actually what you want. That sort of roughly matches the finish on the car. But what happens is, as it dries, that gloss disappears and it goes matte. Now we're going to do that with some lacquer, but rather than just put the lacquer straight on, which in my experience just makes it go sort of blotchy, and you don't get the even finish, we're going to get that nice gloss finish that we've got there, with a nice dry lacquer coat. So we're going to let that dry, give that about half an hour, and I'm going to show you how I flat it back with the 1200 grit wet and dry. Put a tack cloth on again just to get the dust and the contaminants off, and then we're going to put a coat of lacquer on. Okay, now that's dried. You can see it's gone very light. It's a nice even finish, but the colour's gone very light, and it's slightly matte as well. And you might look at this, and I certainly did the first time I did it, and think, God, it's miles out and it's never going to work. But just watch what happens when you flat it back and put the lacquer on. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, take some 1200 grit wet and dry, and we're just going to lightly don't go too mad, just going to rough it and key the surface. And what you're aiming for is just that scuffed, and this might seem really counterintuitive, but this gives the lacquer something to stick to. To key to rather, and all of the little marks and the little scratches will get filled in by the lacquer, because the lacquer's a liquid. It's quite thin, so it fills in all those gaps. Now you might be thinking, well, why not just put the lacquer straight on here? The problem I've found with that is that you end up with the same light finish, the same light colour, just with a glossy finish. The colour's still wrong. And what this does, and I still don't really understand the science behind it, other than presumably the lacquer just keys to this slightly rough surface and spreads more evenly, I don't know. But what you get is a nice even finish. Make sure you've got it all. Right. And it should look something like that. And see all the little scratches in it, all the little scuffs, and that's sort of a matte finish to it now. And what I'm going to do is get a tack cloth. I'm just going to remove any loose paint, any contamination on the surface. like that. And I can see I've missed a little bit there with the sandpaper. There's a little slightly glossier bit there, so I'm just gonna So what you're looking for is that sort of finish with the scuffs in it. It looks ruined, but trust me, this will actually come out really well once we get the lacquer on it. I'll take my lacquer. This is just standard Halford's clear lacquer. Shake. And I'm just going to add and it gives the same sort of glossy finish as the wet paint, but this will actually dry glossy, which the paint doesn't. And you can see it's not perfect, it's not as good as you get with a proper paint, proper spray gun, and someone who knows what they're doing, which I'm not, by the way, but we'll just let that dry. Might need another coat, I don't know. Let's just see how it dries. But you can see the nice gloss finish that you've got now. And notice how the colour's gone dark, it's gone back to the correct colour. If you don't key it, as I say, what happens is that the lacquer goes on top and yet you still get the light colour, but with a glossy finish. And the sanding, or just keying the surface, just seems to make that a bit better. It's a lovely gloss to that now. Okay, let's let that dry and come back. Right, so about half an hour has passed now, a bit more than that. And there it is. It's dry now. Lovely gloss. A little bit orange peely maybe, but like I say, it's a rattle can. But I'd be quite happy to fit that, I think, to the car. As I say, I wouldn't normally entertain using a rattle can, but I think because this is a small area, because it's curved as well, it hides any sort of imperfections quite well. And yeah, I think, certainly for an older car, a rattle can and a half an hour's work with a few gaps, and you get a reasonable result. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. And that's it on the car.